Morning. I'm Heather New, and I'm bringing you today's One Thing. We're going to talk about something that's on everyone's mind right now, and that's COVID-19, the novel coronavirus, and how it's impacting our community. As the Chamber, we want to be sure that we're informing our business owners and business leaders, as well as the employees of those businesses. So we have a few bits of information that we want to share with you that have been released recently from the CDC and the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. First, we want to review a business preparedness checklist with you. We need to be sure that our businesses are prioritizing their critical operations. You need to be prepared to change the methods in which you're delivering your operations. You might want to identify some alternative suppliers if you're having issues receiving your products that you need. You may need to be prioritizing some of your customers. You also may need to look at temporarily suspending some of your operations. We recognize this is a really tough time and really tough decisions that you need to make. But we want you to know that we're here for you for the long haul, and we're with you within this. We also, as businesses, need to prepare for school closings. As you know, most of the schools in our area will finish out today and will not plan to be back into session until April 6th. You could have extended absenteeism from employees as a result of this or as a result of sickness in families. You need to look at your critical operations and what absolutely must be staffed, and possibly consider cross-training where necessary. You also need to be sure you have a communication plan. You need to put a method into place so that you can quickly and easily communicate with your employees as things progress, so that they're aware of what your expectations are. You need to consider teleworking possibilities. As of today, the Chamber is going to be closed to the general public. We will still be in our offices working predominantly during this time. In certain situations, some of us may be teleworking from home. We're fortunate that most of our operations are cloud-based, so you should not witness a significant difference in our delivery of services except for our events. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a bit. You might also want to consider communicating often and regularly with your state and public health officials should you have any significant issues. And I really want to stress this. There are several reliable sources for information out there. CDC.gov, the Center for Disease Control, the Alabama Department of Public Health, the Gadsden Etowah County Emergency Management Agency all have websites and social media. It is very tempting to share information on our social media. Be sure before you share that information that you are vetting it, that you make sure that it is not hyperbole, that it is truth, because sharing incorrect information could be very critical to our public health. And so we want to make sure that what we're sharing is accurate. Here are a couple of tips so that you can keep your work safe and your employees safe. We want to encourage you and your employees to practice good hygiene. You know, most of us do this on a regular basis, but it doesn't hurt to be a little overly cautious. We want to encourage you to stop handshaking altogether. Stop elbow bumping, stop fist bumping, no high fives. And in fact, if at all possible, keep a 6-foot distance between each other and just greet each other with a wave, a hi, a hello. Understand that no one is going to think you're rude for doing this. You need to clean your hands at the door and remind everyone to wash their hands regularly. We actually came in this morning and Lysoled every light switch, every doorknob, every telephone, everything that you might possibly touch on a regular basis. We will do this again repeatedly throughout the day and before we leave. Keep in mind that currently we believe that this virus can live up to 1 week on surfaces. So even though you may think there aren't people coming into my office right now, there could have been people in your office last week. So an ounce of caution. We want you, if you are able, to promote tap and pay and reduce handling of cash if possible, and to again just disinfect doorknobs, tabletops, desks, handrails, anything that's touched regularly. Disinfect those regularly. When possible, avoid crowding. Use booking and scheduling so that you can stagger your customer flow. Use online transactions where you can. For our members that have online options, we want to help you promote those online options. You can email us and let us know, and we will do everything we can to push that out to the general public so that we can maintain some flow of commerce in our business, because it is critical that we continue to support our local businesses during this. Be careful when meeting or traveling. If you don't have to travel, reconsider. Use video conferencing for your meetings when it's at all possible, video conferencing or conference calls. Be sure that our restaurants, I've noticed on social media that they're all stepping up and showing out, just like this community always does. And it makes me so proud to be from here, that a lot of our restaurants are offering to help feed children while they're out of school that may not otherwise have an opportunity to get a warm meal. We know that those restaurants are increasing their food safety measures by limiting the amount of food that can be shared, by handling the food very, very carefully. We also know that they'll likely be encouraging strengthening their health screenings of their cafeteria and the cafeteria workers' close contacts. And if anyone is sick, that they're not coming inside. They're being met at the door, at their car, where they're keeping everyone safe as possible. Let me stress to you, while there are some very difficult decisions ahead of us and currently meeting us, if you are sick, stay home. If someone in your immediate home is sick, stay home. I encourage employers to have compassion during this time. This virus is not necessarily being considered to have a high mortality rate at this point. However, for those with weakened immune systems and the elderly, it is extremely dangerous. While many of us are fortunate that we may not have deep concerns about long-term effects on our health, we have loved ones in every single one of our homes for which we are very, very concerned. And so we are here for you. We will continue to provide you updates. As of this time, most all of our meetings are going to be teleconferenced. There will be more information coming from us in the future. But again, I encourage you to look to those reliable sources like the CDC, the Alabama Public Department of Health, and our Gadsden Etowah County Emergency Management Agency. This is a rapidly progressing situation, so information changes very, very quickly. But again, before you share things socially, before you share things at all, be sure that we vetted that information, that we're putting out correct information. If we can help you, be sure you email us. You can email us at programs@EtowahChamber.org, president@EtowahChamber.org, or info@EtowahChamber.org. We will still be accessible, and we will constantly be working for you. Take care, stay healthy, wash your hands. Thanks, guys.